Catch Texas in Color every Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Boy, you're in for a treat today. Boy, thank you, Judge, for coming on today. I know your schedule is very busy coming on Texas in Color. I'm so excited to have you here. When I heard you was going to be on here, I just was so enthusiastic about it. I said, wow, having a judge on here. With not me being in court, I love this right here. so so somebody told us that on TikTok you have a lot of followers.
You know what? I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have enough followers.
Oh, not enough? Well, from
No.
what I'm looking at the numbers, you gotta have a lot. So that means you're doing some good out there. You're saying things out there that people want to hear, and they're following you because they respect you. With things like that going on, and I like seeing that. So with that being said, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience out there and let them know who we have here?
Okay. Good morning. I'm Judge Kim Cooks. I'm out of Dallas, Texas. I don't know if you're how far your spread goes. I know it says Texas in color. So I am in the Dallas area. I'm currently running for the Court of Appeals, the Fifth District Court of Appeals, which covers Dallas, Collin, Hunt, Grayson, Kaufman, and Rockwall counties. So a little bit about myself. This is my 10th year as a judge. 8 of those I sat in family court and protective order court. And for the past 2, I've sat civil, family, as well as criminal court. So that's a little bit about my background.
Okay, so but you being up there in the Dallas area, let's say you're going to win. We're going to say you're going to win.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
we're going to say that you'll be the first black woman to ever serve in a position as judge of the Fifth District of Appeal, Place 11, right?
That would be correct.
Oh man! So some of the things that you had accomplished to get. Let's start all over again. For you to get where you at, what was the struggle to get there?
Ooh. And it's a struggle. And I was actually so when I was elected in 2014, I was the first African American and first African American woman to be elected to the 255th Family Court. Um, so it's been a struggle because people don't believe that when you're African American, you're qualified. I went to law school at Thurgood Marshall. I have an HBCU law degree. People think that if you don't have a degree from Harvard or Yale or something like that, like you're not their equivalent, or from UT. And it's funny because they have the same jobs that I have.
Mm.
So does that mean they're not qualified, or what does that mean for them? Because I don't believe that a school makes a person. I think you make the school.
Amen to that, because we got a lot. That's been the old cliche. If you went to Harvard and Princeton, you was in the elite, and the other schools weren't nothing. But I got news for you. Some of the other schools turn out better people than come out of Harvard and Princeton, and the Ivy League. And that was when I was growing up. That was our deal. I want to go to Ivy League school. It was embedded in our head. That's where we need to go to become successful. But you don't have to. And that's one thing they got to look out for. These schools out here is just as good as any. The only thing about Harvard and Princeton is it costs too much. I'm gonna say the price of going to those schools is
It costs too much. And you know what? That's what I tell kids all the time, because kids getting out of high school, they always want to go to these elite schools. And I'm like, think about it. How much student loans do you want to have? Because if
hmm
you can go somewhere and they're paying for it and it's a full ride, take it.
yeah.
You won't have the debt, and you'll have the same degree, and then eventually nobody cares about your degree.
No, they
You
don't.
make whatever you make, You make the school. That degree doesn't make you. So I try to tell kids that, and I am, I'm an advocate of HBCU education.
Okay. So, how do you feel about breaking the barrier, showing yourself as fearless and an inspiration to many?
Uh, Breaking the barrier. I certainly hope that it makes it easier for whoever comes behind me, whoever I pass the torch to. I hope it makes it easier, that they won't have to face a lot of the things that I had to face. A lot of the discrimination, a lot of the hate, a lot of the hate from women. Hopefully they don't have to face that.
Yeah, because we see it firsthand right now. It leads to this next question right here. VP Harris, you and her continue to walk through doors that haven't been open, has not been open. So the way things are going nowadays, the way the climate is, especially being a black woman, how do you feel about the critics, and how do you handle your critics?
I ignore the critics. I don't think they're worthy of my energy. They're not worthy of my attention. They're not worthy of even a response. And I think I'm going to say President Harris. I hope she sees it the same way. She's at a whole different level. It's not worth her going down to that level and responding to a lot of what the critics say, whether it be who she was with back in the day. That's irrelevant.
You know, well, I'm glad you said it, 'cause what I'm seeing they're doing right now, they're baiting you. They want you to fall into their trap. And like you said, when you ignore it, as exactly you're supposed to do, when you do things like that, they say, okay, I'm going to say it right now. They don't know what they're doing and mess around with a black woman. I'll tell you that right now. I grew up in a strong family, a lot of strong black women in that family. And I learned one thing: don't mess with them. Even though they were my sisters and aunties, I knew my boundaries. So when they come out and try to belittle you and call you stupid and sick and all that, you're doing it right. You just look at it and say, yeah, okay, next. What else you got to say? Because their level is not at your level. They below you, and they don't
Right.
like that. They don't like the level that you at right here, right now. They want you down here, but you're not doing that. You're not taking that bait and being ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
So
totally agree with that.
when you sit there and your critics sit up there and tell you this and tell you that, like you say, you just shrug it off. But does it wear on you hearing that all the time?
It doesn't wear on me because I've had it happen to me so often that it doesn't wear on me. It just doesn't even bother me anymore.
Mm.
The attacks on me, I know what the truth is. And it's unfortunate that those who come out with lies can have a following to believe those lies. But that's not my level either. So why would I address it? I know what the truth is.
So being up there, you're going to break the barriers. I already know it. You're going to be there. With you breaking the barrier and being there, what I like seeing that little black girls could see where you at and see where they could go. And a lot of people say they don't want to be a role model, but most of them are stuck regardless, because you the first black, whether it's the first, like Jackie Robinson, he's a role model. And with you breaking the barrier right now, you're going to be a role model. People's going to look up to you. You're going to be scrutinized a lot harder than anybody else, because that's how they do it here in the United States, and especially in Texas. So with that being said, when people look up to you, do you feel yourself like being a role model for the other black little girls out there?
I certainly hope that I can be a role model to those looking, for them to know that they can be themselves. So many times when people think of a judge, they have an idea of how that person looks, and they have an idea that it's a very conservative person. a person who dresses, not flashy, very bland, and they're just they have a certain picture. They put them in a box. So I would hope that they could see that you could be all of these things, and you don't have to be in a box. When I first ran, some older black women came up to me and said, "You want to be judged, but you wear these high heel shoes. They're like 5-inch heel shoes. That's not what a judge wears." And initially I thought, okay, let me put on some flats. I put on some flats for one day. I said, this isn't me. I'm uncomfortable and it's just not me. So I put back on my 5-inch heels and I've ran with them ever since. So you got to do what makes you feel comfortable. That's who I am. I mean, it's nothing you can take away from me. You can't take my intellect away from me, my looks or anything else. So I hope little girls see that they can embrace who they are and be who they are, and they don't have to try to fit into the box that society wants them to fit into.
Amen to that, because when we were growing up, a judge had on the robe. In other words, they had a robe on, and they take the robe off. They look like a librarian. I'm just gonna say it because they see how you're supposed to be, so conservative, dignified, and you can't even laugh. Oh no, you can't laugh. That's not a judge. Judge don't do that. You gotta be serious all the time. But I know some judges here in Bear County that just like you, and they turn around and they interact with everybody. Say, no, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's different nowadays than it was back in the day. It's like guilty, get them out of here. Nowadays, I see some judges, whether the person is guilty or not, they're also educating them as they go along. And I have not seen that before. That judge, okay, you're going to jail for 5 years, but this is the reason why. They give them the reason why. And this is what you do when you get out. We have this set up for you for when you get out. That's what I'm saying. Something are changing. It's the new breed that's coming out. Do you do something like that, similar, that you educate the person, whoever it is?
Educate the person, absolutely. And especially when I sat in protective order court, because so many times there are so many advocates for victims of domestic violence, but ultimately, who's going to help the perpetrator? Like, there's no help for that perpetrator, and they're just going to get in another relationship, repeat, the violence again. So there needs to be a help for that perpetrator. And there's a judge in San Antonio who focuses on that. So that's an excellent deal. She helps the perpetrator to change their mindset. And a lot of times perpetrators have childhood trauma. So they address the childhood trauma, individual counseling, and then it changes the mindset so we can eliminate the whole family violence thing with the perpetrator. And I think that's important. So it's a lot of change. Because, as a judge, when you understand that, to me, judges have to reflect the community they serve. So they have to understand, the different perspectives, different cultures, and they have to actually be out in the community. So when you see a judge who doesn't go out in the community and interact with those that they serve, I don't think that judge should be on the bench. I don't think that person should be in any political position if they're afraid to go out or they feel they're too good to go out and interact with the constituents.
Yeah, I agree with you. Things are changing. We might be talking about the same judge. We're not going to say no names, but we might be talking about the same one here. So, with that being said, but you running for office, you just said something right there. The judge ought to be out there with the people, seeing what's going on. Not only the victims, but the accuser. With Boy, I just lost my train of thought right there. The question I was going to ask you. That rarely happens. What's going on, Ron? But do you look at, let's say that person really needs help, and the background got a lot to do with how they were brought up. I know that has a lot. They see things and they think that's the way you're supposed to treat people. But you got to dig into the back. Now, the other thing is digging into the background. The other question is, are they willing to change? You can't change them if they don't want no change. And that's probably one of the hardest things to find, that they're back again in your court.
Now that is the hardest thing. You've got to be willing to change, and that's in any situation. Whether you go to counseling, if you're not honest, it's not going to help you. If you're not willing to, receive what the counselor is saying, it's not going to help you. You're not willing to receive what the court is telling you, or the second chances that the court's giving you, it's not going to help you. So you have to be open to that.
Okay. What is a quote that inspires you?
A quote that inspires me. Um, you know what? Now it's not actually a quote; it's a Bible verse. So I like the Bible verse: "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding." And I pray that God gives me discernment in everything that I do, so I can rest at night on whatever decision that I've made, on however I interact with people, that I always give them kindness, dignity, respect, so that I can sleep at night. So I always ask God for that guidance.
Yes, I agree with you on that one. Um, talk.
Ron,
Yes.
um, on that, ask Judge Cooks, what was the reason why she decided to run for justice, the Fifth Court of Appeals? What about this position was appealing to her for her to decide to leave out of family and criminal court to be on the Fifth Court of Appeals?
Okay, so in Texas, there's 14 courts of appeals. They enacted a 15th one that's going to begin September 1st. And that 15th Court of Appeals, the governor appoints whoever he wants to. The cases that go there are specifically chosen to go there. The 14 courts of appeals, there was no diversity. I didn't believe that it reflected the community that the court sat in, and it needed to reflect the community. It needs to have a different perspective. It needs to have a perspective where criminal cases are a concern. If someone has appealed a criminal case, their liberty is at stake. And those should be the priority. They shouldn't be the last cases that are looked at. They shouldn't be a backlog of those cases. So that's why I decided to run for the 5th District Court of Appeals, place 11, because it needed a different perspective. It needed someone who understood the community, who came from the community.
Mm. I'm gonna go back what you just said about the 15th one. That piqued my curiosity when you said that. So he could appoint a judge there and select cases to go there.
Can you believe that? Yes,
No,
he's going to. So it's considered a business court where the minimum in controversy has to be $5 million. So whoever his friends are, or whoever are these big business people who are contributing to his campaign or contributing to whatever, they're going to go to that court, and he's going to appoint who's going to be the judges of that court and the cases that are going to go there. So
so
how unfair is that?
very. So how are the courts? How do the courts get their cases now?
Well, the 5th District Court of Appeals covers Dallas, Collin, Hunt, Grayson, Kaufman, and Rockwall counties. So all the appeals from those counties go to the 5th District Court of Appeals currently.
So the
However, when it's a business case and it's 5 million or more in controversy that has been appealed, it's going to go to the 15th Court of Appeals.
Now, Judge Cook, is that something that the governor always had, I'm gonna say, dominion over, or was this something that was implemented this last legislative session? How does this fit into play?
It came about the last legislative session, June of 2023. It was placed into law, and it's to start September 1st of 2024.
Mm.
Boy, you thought you heard it all. I mean, so his buddies could get in trouble. Oh, you go to this court, you'll be okay. That's to me. If I hear that, to me it sounds like, don't worry about it. I got you covered. I'm gonna set you up with this judge right here. Go on your merry way. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Yeah, if you go to that court, I guess you better be in good with the governor.
yeah. Man, that is odd.
So how would you counteract that? How could voters counteract kind of the governor stacking the deck, so to speak? We've been seeing a lot of things in the news in reference to things being appealed to the Supreme Court, where we know it is a 6-3 swing for conservatives. And what does the voters need to know in reference to this upcoming election with these seats that are coming up, and then also in the future, what do we need to know about your race that you're running, the importance of it, and other races that we may need to pay attention to?
Okay, so it starts at the legislature. So that law passed where they had the 15th Court of Appeals. It passed through the legislature. So through the House and the Senate, that's where it passed. The state reps in Texas, they passed that by a majority, and then the governor made whatever plans to roll it out. When we talk about the Supreme Court, so we have some justices in the Supreme Court who might not be here the next election or might not be here on the bench. It's very important for who the president is going to be on this term, because that president is going to select the people to be on that court, that Supreme Court. So if we say Trump gets in and he selects people who are 40 years old, three more people who are 40 to take the spots that are open, they're going to be there forever, and it's nothing you can do about it. Because they're going to be there till either they die, retire, or whatever, because it's a lifetime appointment. So that's why it's important from the president's standpoint, who to vote for, from the legislative, all down the ballot. It's important on who you're voting for. So you got to vote from the top to the bottom of the ballot, because it affects every aspect of the laws that change in the court system, who you vote for to determine the outcome of your case. So every position, there's not a position that's more important than the next, but especially the lower court positions, because if the president enacts something, that'll eventually affect the people. However, if you go into court, you can go into court today, drop your kids off at school, be in a custody battle, and lose your kids. That can happen within a couple of hours. So that's why it's important to both the judges who are actually interacting with the community, who what their stance are, who what their patterns are on how they rule.
Wow.
So every position to me is important.
Man. I'm definitely gonna look this up, because every time we have a guest on, I learn something new. That has not I don't know what to say. I heard some stuff, but now I hear this right here. He said, "You got to be kidding me. Where at in the United States this happens? In Texas." So
Yeah, I'm sure some other states have the same problems that we have.
yeah. But ours are talk. Well, we didn't know about this one. Did you know about it? Miss Robertson, did you know about this? This is
No,
new
I
to.
know 15th court that was going to be implemented, but I did know that they have been working on things, and things has been rolling out slowly but surely, and it's coming to light. So that's why I wanted Judge Cook to kind of give us a little more detail of kind of what's going on, so we can understand, because this information isn't just shared readily with the people.
Right.
And it's not in politics that ask some of these questions and kind of probe and do research, you won't know. So that's why it was good to kind of get a better understanding of the Fifth Court of Appeals and the importance of it, and then also the progression in reference to if things go even above her, being on the Fifth Court of Appeals because it's a higher court, which is the Supreme Court. So
Right.
no, I was not aware. So I'm really glad that Judge Cook is here to kind of enlighten us on what's going on in reference to our judicial system.
So
Yes, and so the governor wants to take over all the judicial positions because when Dallas, all the African American ladies was elected in Dallas, we had the most African Americans in any city in the United States sitting on judicial benches. Then turned around that next election cycle, Houston had 19 black judges. So then
Black
the governor, they started to say, well, we need qualified candidates for these positions. Why aren't these black ladies qualified? I'm
Yep.
confused. So now he's taking the position, okay, we've got to take the whole judicial system over. So they're running Republicans against every position, just throwing them on the ballot, hoping that I guess they hope that it will change and they'll be able to take over.
Now,
Mm.
Judge Cook, you just said something, and I don't believe you was one of them. But it was several ladies that was challenged before the primary about their, I guess, legitimacy to run for certain judge positions, even though they were already sitting judges. I know it was a young lady out of Houston that was challenged because I guess the gentleman that she was running against, he was able to challenge her without also being challenged himself. That was a law that was passed during this last legislative session. And I noticed it was black females that were running that were being challenged. There was one male, but most of them were black women. And it's disheartening because you guys have worked so hard for your credentials and your accolades and your licenses and your degrees, for then to turn around and be challenged as if none of that meant anything.
Right. It's almost like they feel that we have to have some extra special, like some kind of superhero qualities above and beyond what they have in order to be good enough to run. And I'm glad
Mm.
those that were challenged in Houston, the challenge was unsuccessful, and they went on to win the primaries, and they'll be on the ballot for November. But to go through that, imagine that the stress to go through that, because you got to then hire an attorney to fight the case. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is. And then September 1st is when some of the new laws going to roll out. And I was looking at it, but I did not see that one on there.
The
I
15th Court of Appeals.
Yeah, I didn't see it on there because I always look and see what new law is going to take effect on September 1st. And I know the Crown Act is going in effect, and I agree with that one right there. We push for that one here in San Antonio. But I did not see that in there because usually around this time I start looking to see, okay, what new laws are going in effect we need to worry about. I need to dig a little deeper probably because it may be hidden somewhere in there they don't want nobody to see.
Right. Yeah.
So, okay, I got one last question for you, which is the best question of all. Tell the audience, why should they vote for you?
Okay, so I am the Democratic nominee for the 5th District Court of Appeals, place 11. I'm the only one in this race with judicial experience. I'm the only one in this race who has trial experience in criminal, family, juvenile, and civil, as well as judicial experience in criminal, family, juvenile, and civil. So, technically speaking, I'm the only qualified candidate, if we want to look at it that way. I'm the person who's out in the community. I'm the person who, embraces differences and embraces all cultures. I'm the person that you need to vote for. So there'll be a different perspective on the 5th District Court of Appeals. So there'll be diversity on the 5th District Court of Appeals and, justice.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. And come on November 6th, I want to share at your celebration, even though I'll be down here, because you're going to have this one. I got faith that things are going to go well for you. You sit up there, you remind me of, I hate to bring my family in here, but you remind me of some of my aunties and sisters who were strong in what they were doing and believe what they were doing, and could nobody tell, they refused to hear no. You're not going to tell me no. I see you right now. It's going to be yes for you for winning this right here. I see it coming. I see this wave coming through Texas going to shake Texas up. It's too bad that the governor race is not in right now. I wish it was.
No,
We got to wait another 2 years. Is that, I think? But
yes.
yeah, I was wishing it was right now. The way things going right now, man, I wish it was going right now. But
I know the energy. I'm so glad the energy has picked up for the Democratic Party. I'm excited about it.
and, it is a good energy too. I like the way they say it's the joy that everybody's having. Now they have something to run on. They have something to. Everybody's coming together on one common cause, and that common cause is our women, our black women. Can't nobody tell y'all what to do with your body. That's none of their business. And so what they did, I'm gonna use that quote from Roosevelt when he said, "They woke up a sleepy giant." And they woke
Yes.
black women up, and not all black women, white women, Hispanic, Asian, y'all not playing. And that's what I like about it.
I agree. And then the whole combination with Harris and Waltz, Tim Waltz, I like that combination. He appears to be even looking back at his history, a down to earth guy who embraced everyone.
Yes, and we need more
So
like
that's a
that.
good thing. I think they make a good pair.
Okay.
Right.
All right, Judge, we appreciate you taking time out coming on. Miss Robinson, appreciate you coming on in there. I see your little symbol in back of you. You're trying to be like me over here, huh?
Yeah. Now, before we go, Ron,
Yes.
Judge Cook, please let us know how we can support you in your campaign. If you want to have any websites, any links for donations, if you have any upcoming events, we can come out, support, share. Please let us know so we can also be an advocate for you as well.
Okay. And my website is judgeforjustice.com. I'm on all social media platforms as Judge Kim Cooks. So you can donate on my website, and anything that I have, I'll let y'all know so y'all can come on out.
Oh,
All right.
that'd be a
Thank
drive.
you.
That'd be a drive for me to come up there. I'm meant to come up there and spend a week out there to visit everybody. I could do my
It'll be well worth it.
yeah. I could do my
To celebrate around Texas.
right. I could do my show live up there. I got everything to do it like there's no different. Maybe I may plan a trip up that way and
You know what? You should actually do that. Do a Texas in Color tour and just go around Texas.
see, you hear that? She needs to be on our panel too. Don't that is a great idea.
Absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Oh wow. Okay. I know Miss Robinson wheels are turning right now because I met with her and we talked about some things we're doing, and you just added more ammunition. So yes, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it.
Okay. Whoa, look at that. I like this. Push me, push me. All right, appreciate everybody coming on this morning, and let everybody know that don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That's Texas in Color on YouTube, and to let everybody know, we will be launching Texas in Color website in the next couple of weeks. Something dawned on me saying I need a website for this, so we're working on that now. So it'll be easier for people to come in to see these shows. So that's where we're getting all set up right now.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, it's Texas in Color,
Oh, okay.
and
Okay.
this will be
Yeah.
on it. This will be on it. Probably about another couple hours. I'll edit it and put it on there, and everybody can see this anytime.
Yeah, well, I look forward to you blowing up. Big things happening.
Oh, I appreciate that. All right. Y'all take care.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Texas in Color. Please tune in every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you'll be notified each and every time we go on live.